Hello, everyone. From the biggest land predator to ever exist to one of the most ferocious sharks in history, here are 10 of the most dangerous prehistoric hunters you have never heard of. Number 10. Smilodon. Smilodon was a saber-toothed cat that lived in North and South America during the Pleistocene epoch, which lasted from 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago. It is one of the most famous prehistoric beasts thanks to its iconic fangs. However, it had many other features that made it such an efficient hunter. For example, its skull was short and wide, its fur was thick, and its paws were large. The saber-toothed cat was able to take down large mammals with ease, including camels, horses, and bison. In fact, it was so powerful that it could kill prey twice its size. Fossil evidence suggests that the Smilodon was the apex predator in its environment, and it likely hunted other animals just for fun rather than out of necessity. Because of its fierce reputation, the Smilodon has been given the nickname saber-toothed tiger, even though it was not actually a tiger. This large feline was more closely related to modern-day cheetahs and cougars. Despite its power and popularity, the exact reason for the Smilodon's extinction remains unknown. Some experts believe that climate change played a role, while others think that it was due to overhunting by humans. 9. Leviathan. While most people know about Megalodon, one of the largest and most feared whales in existence today, few have heard of Leviathan. This enormous creature lived in the world's oceans about 40 million years ago during the Eocene epoch. It was the top predator in its environment and fed primarily on fish and other marine creatures. The name Leviathan means strong jaws or he who is rough. And this was certainly an apt description of this whale's appearance. Fossils of Leviathan have been found in both the northern and southern hemispheres, indicating that it had a worldwide distribution. It was around 55 feet long and weighed over 60 tons. To put this into perspective, the largest living whale is about 85 feet long. So Leviathan was almost as big as a blue whale. It had massive teeth that it used to slice through flesh like butter. These teeth were also serrated, which helped to prevent its prey from escaping. Number 8. Titanoboa. Titanoboa is one of the most fascinating and terrifying creatures that ever existed. It was a giant snake that lived in North America during the late Cretaceous period, about 66 million years ago. Its name comes from the Greek word titan, meaning giant, and boa, referring to the type of snake. Titanoboa was truly a monster. It measured about 50 feet long and weighed nearly a ton. That's the size of a school bus. The snake had more than 260 teeth, each one as long as an incisor. It was so heavy that if it slithered over you, it would crush your bones like a twig. The Titanoboa's head alone was 3 feet wide, and its eyes were about the size of basketballs. It's hard to imagine a more terrifying predator. The Titanoboa was an absolute apex predator. It was at the top of the food chain and had no natural enemies. It likely hunted other large reptiles, including turtles and crocodiles. It could also go after smaller animals like birds and mammals. Because of its huge size, the Titanoboa needed to eat a lot of food to survive. It's estimated that it ate over 1,000 pounds of meat per day. That's the equivalent of eating 25 cheeseburgers. The snake was so voracious that it likely played a key role in keeping the ecosystem in check. It helped to control populations of other animals and prevented any one species from becoming too dominant. Unfortunately, the Titanoboa went extinct along with the dinosaurs. It's possible that it was killed off by the asteroid impact that caused the mass extinction event. Number 7. Barotherium. Barotherium was a large mammal that lived in North America during the Eocene epoch, which lasted from 56 to 34 million years ago. It was an herbivore, but it was also a very effective hunter. Barotherium stood up to 11 feet tall at the shoulder and weighed several tons. It had long neck and legs, making it one of the fastest mammals of its time. But what really set Barotherium apart was its incredible bite force. It had the strongest bite of any mammal that ever lived, even stronger than that of Tyrannosaurus rex. With its powerful jaws, Barotherium could easily take down prey and defend itself against predators. It likely used its strength to crush the bones of its victims, much like a hyena. Today, there are no known living relatives of Prehistoric. It is possible that it went extinct because of climate change or competition for resources with other large mammals. No. 6. Suchomimus. Suchomimus was a carnivorous dinosaur that lived in what is now Africa during the late Cretaceous period, about 100 million years ago. It was a relative of the more famous Tyrannosaurus rex, but it had some unique features that set it apart from other theropods. For example, Suchomimus had a very long neck, which allowed it to reach high into the trees to grab prey. It also had a small head and mouth, which made it less fearsome than its cousins, the Tyrannosaurs. Despite its relatively small head, Suchomimus had a huge set of teeth that it used to slice through flesh. The teeth were also serrated, which helped to prevent its prey from escaping. Suchomimus was a very successful hunter, and it likely fed on a variety of different animals, including turtles, crocodiles, and mammals. It could also go after smaller dinosaurs, including ornithomimids and sauropods. Number 5. Pteranodon. Pteranodon lived between 55 and 65 million years ago in the ancient seas. This massive creature had a skull that was about 3 feet long and was equipped with dozens of razor-sharp teeth. It's estimated that pteranodons could grow up to 65 feet in length, making them among the longest animals to ever live. Their bodies were shaped like giant sea cucumbers, which helped them move through the water with ease. Pteranodons were ambush predators. They would lie in wait and then suddenly strike their prey. They likely used their teeth to slice through flesh and then swallow their prey whole. Pteranodons were perfectly adapted for hunting large fish and other marine creatures. Their size and speed made them virtually unstoppable. Once they had their prey in their sights, pteranodons could easily overpower it and drag it down into the depths. There is not much known about the pteranodon's behavior because they left behind no living relatives, and their fossils are relatively rare. What we do know is that they were true masters of the ocean. Number 4. House seagull. House seagull is one of the most fearsome predators that ever existed. It was a giant bird of prey that lived in New Zealand until about 140 years ago. House seagull had a wingspan of up to 20 feet, making it the largest eagle that ever lived. It also had the largest beak and talons of any eagle. With its powerful beak, House seagull could easily tear through flesh and bone. Its talons were so strong that it could carry off prey twice its size. House seagull was a very efficient hunter. It used its keen eyesight to spot prey from great distances and then used its powerful wings to swoop down and grab its meal. It likely fed on other birds, reptiles, and mammals, including kiwi and moa. Moa were large flightless birds that were native to New Zealand. They were perfectly adapted for life on the ground and were unable to fly. This made them easy targets for House seagull. It's thought that House seagull played a key role in the extinction of several moa species. The last surviving population of moa were driven to extinction by European settlers in the early 19th century. And without their main predator, House seagulls were able to thrive. However, by the late 1800s, House seagulls were becoming very rare. The main reason for this was the destruction of their habitat. As forests were cleared for farming and grazing land, House seagulls were forced to flee. By 1914, there were only a few dozen House seagulls left in the wild. The last known specimen was shot in 1930. Number 3. Megalodon. Megalodon is the largest shark that ever lived. It was a member of the mackerel shark family and lived in the world's oceans between 23 and 3.6 million years ago. Megalodon was a true apex predator and had a massive body that measured up to 60 feet long and weighed several tons. It had huge teeth that it used to slice through flesh and crush bones. The teeth of megalodons are still being discovered today, and they make for some truly terrifying fossils. Megalodons were incredibly fast and could swim at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. They were also very agile and could maneuver in the water with surprising grace. This combination of size, speed, and agility made megalodons deadly hunters. They could take down large whales and other marine creatures with ease, and they were also cannibalistic, meaning that they would often hunt and kill other sharks. No. 2. Amphibian. Amphibian was a mammal that lived in North America during the Miocene epoch. About 23 to 5 million years ago, it was an ancestor of modern bears and wolves and was one of the first creatures to successfully transition from water to land. Amphibian was perfectly adapted for both environments. It had a streamlined body that allowed it to move through the water with ease, and its paws were webbed, which helped it to steer and balance. But when it came time to hunt, Amphibian used its sharp teeth and claws to take down prey. It was also very intelligent and was able to communicate with other members of its species using a variety of vocalizations. This intelligence allowed it to hunt cooperatively and take down larger prey. Amphibian was a very successful predator, and it likely thrived because of its ability to adapt to different environments. It was able to switch between hunting aquatic and terrestrial prey depending on what was available. Unfortunately, Amphibian went extinct along with many other large mammals at the end of the Pleistocene epoch. It's possible that climate change played a role in its extinction, as did competition for resources with other predators. Now, 1. Ghost whale. The ghost whale is a mysterious creature that was discovered in 2007 off the coast of Peru. It's a relative of modern whales and dolphins, but it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. The ghost whale had a massive head and jaws that were filled with dozens of sharp teeth. It also had a long, narrow body that was perfectly adapted for swimming through the water. The ghost whale was a very efficient hunter, and it likely fed on large fish and other marine creatures. The name ghost whale comes from the fact that this creature isn't like any other known species. It's possible that it's a completely new genus and species of whale, but we don't know for sure yet. The ghost whale is a reminder that there is still so much that we don't know about our world. There are still many undiscovered species out there, and who knows what else might be lurking in the depths of the ocean. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support and hope that you learned something new.